Don't do it, Coop. Don't do it. It's too risky. It's simply just too risky. You know what? Screw it. Let's do this. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. We're doing it. If the Miami Hurricanes lose this game, I'm going to give this graded Charizard card to a random Duke viewer. Before we get into the video, I just want to remind you guys that I have some new Miami themed shirts on the merch store, and you can check them out by clicking the top link down in my description. I really think that this is some of the most unique Canes game day gear on the market. You're gonna love them. So that's right, I'm running a little bet for this game, and if no Duke fans show up, then I will give it away to a random Miami Hurricanes fan. We'll do a live stream after the game, we'll roll out the prize wheel, we'll put some names on it, and we'll spin it and see who gets it. Now, if you don't know what this is, just ask down in the comment section, and I'm sure someone will explain. This card has been authenticated, encapsulated, and officially graded by CGC as a near mint plus 8.5. Charizard card, and this is so stupid, so dumb. This is out of my personal collection, and it's okay if you think Pokemon cards are dumb. I'm not here to judge you. You know, and you might have, you know, hobbies and collect different things that I think are dumb. So I don't get offended if you think that this is stupid. But I will say this is absolutely dumb, and I should not be putting this on the line. What's going on, Canes fans? Now that I've wiped away all of the tears thinking about losing my beloved card, we're going to do this Duke preview video. But before we dive in, I do have a couple of brief announcements that I would like to mention. And first off is you definitely want to watch this video all the way to the end. I'm not talking about skipping to the end, but you definitely want to watch it all the way to the end because you do not want to miss the celebrity guest picker that I have for today's preview video. Also, no one predicted the correct score for the Miami versus North Carolina game, which means that yes, the $500 score prediction contest is still live and active. If you want to be entered to win this, all you have to do is show up to my live stream on Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Call in, give your score prediction, and if you get it right, you win $500. We have a really good time every Friday night, and I do in fact have another player parent guest coming on this Friday night, and it's going to be a big one. You don't want to miss it this Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And last but certainly not least, a huge shout out to all of the Canes fan members that you see on your screen right now. They decided to click the join button that's located beside the subscribe button, and that directly supports the channel in more ways than you know. I greatly appreciate every single one of you up here on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much for all of the continued love. So let's get into this.
Wow.
Duke is not a pushover this season. Like, honestly, I thought they would be. I mean, this is a team that last season went 3-9 and had 0 ACC wins. Now, I wouldn't currently categorize them as a good team, but they've improved a lot already, and honestly much faster, much quicker than I anticipated. The Blue Devils also have a new head coach, and this is his first time running the show. He was formerly the DC for Texas A&M. Duke almost beat North Carolina last week, but ultimately fell to the Tar Heels 38-35. They lost by 3 points, just like we did. And let me just say, they have definitely found a quarterback in Riley Leonard. This dude is completing 65.7% of his passes, and here's the most terrifying part for Canes fans. He leads the team in rushing at 420 yards. But speaking on Miami for a moment, we are finally back in the win column after escaping Blacksburg with a victory. And boy, was it way too close for comfort. We felt like we had control early on, and then we only put up 3 points in the second half of that ball game. We still haven't proven anything. I mean, who have we beat on our schedule? A bunch of nobodies. No offense to Virginia Tech, but you guys aren't necessarily a good football team. I'm not saying Miami's a good football team either, but I'm just saying we haven't beaten anyone good. We were definitely overranked and certainly overhyped coming into the 2022 season, but luckily we're starting to see some of the pieces fall into place with this team. So with introductions out of the way, let's take a brief look at the history between these two squads. Miami and Duke have faced off 19 times in total, with the Canes leading the series by a whopping 15-4. The most recent matchup was last year, and Miami won that game 47-10. Let's also take a quick look at the average stats so far this season for both of these teams. So far in 2022, average points per game, Duke coming in at 33, Miami at 31. Average points allowed against them per game, Duke 22, Miami 21. Average yards so far this season per game, Duke 434, Miami 465. And average yards allowed against them per game this season, Duke 402, Miami 345. Now, when looking at these numbers, all in all, pretty similar, right? The biggest difference there being the yards allowed, of course, which you can see. And a big part of that for Duke is allowing around 142 rushing per game, and Miami is only allowing roughly 97. I feel like we're zooming through this video right now, so let's keep the flow going and transition over to 3 keys to a victory for both of these teams in this game, and we'll kick it off with the Miami Hurricanes. So coming in at number 1, and I know you already saw this one coming, but we must contain quarterback Riley Leonard. It's too important to not put it on the list, no matter how obvious it may be. Over the years, dual threat QBs have always been our worst nightmare, and Leonard rushed for 130 yards last week against UNC. That's over 3 times the total yards that we had in rushing against UNC. That scares me big time. If he hits triple digits in this game, we might be in trouble. I'm just keeping it real. Number 2, the Canes have become very one-dimensional over the last few weeks, and it's cost us a few games and almost cost us the game against the Hokies last week. I would like to see us put it all together in this one. Will it be a complete 180? Obviously, in my opinion, that's highly unlikely, but let's see if we can get Duke to actually respect our run game. And lastly, let's finish strong. Last week, we learned to pick up the pace early, but then we followed up with only 3 points in the second half, and it almost cost us the game. Let's play a complete game in this one. I'm talking all 4 quarters from start to finish. And also, just as a little added bonus, because if I don't mention this, people are going to blow up because I know it's such a big deal. Let's not get 17 penalties in this one, please. And next up, 3 keys to a Duke Blue Devils victory in this one. And kicking it off at number 1, create multiple turnovers in this game and turn those into points. The reason I mention this is because Duke has generated 12 turnovers so far this season, which actually ranks 2nd in the ACC. It's something they do quite well, and last week Miami had 0. So we'll see if they can force some turnovers in this one. Number 2. Duke needs to strike first, and I'm talking 7, not 3. Why? Because Duke has won every single game this season that they scored the first touchdown in. Is that coincidence? Possibly, but I know most of you college football fans out there are superstitious. So if you believe in that stuff, then maybe, they carry the trend over. You score the first touchdown, you win the game. We'll see. And lastly, Duke is going to have to win the battles in the trenches. I realize that's a little vague and also broad because it could mean a lot of different things. Miami ranks number 11 in total sacks, number 12 in rushing defense, and number 28 in scoring defense. Now, with that being said, Duke's O-line has been playing pretty well, especially on the left side. They've not allowed a lot of pressures, not a lot of sacks, again, especially on that left side. So this will be a very interesting battle to keep an eye on all afternoon. Can they continue to hold up and play as well as they have against a Miami D-line that is really probably the biggest strength of our defense? And now it's time, the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm trying to make it as dramatic as I possibly can. We're trying to generate some extra hype, man. It's time for my celebrity guest picker and both of our score predictions for this game. But hold up, wait a minute. You know what we got to do before we get into that. We got to mention the completely pointless, doesn't mean a thing, ESPN matchup predictor. They have Miami's win percentage chance coming into this one at 75.3% and Duke at 24.7%. Currently at time of filming this, Miami is a 9.5 point favorite and the over-under comes in at 59.5 points. So if you're a betting man or betting gal, do what you wish with that information. That seems to be kind of fluctuating. It's moving up and down just a little bit. But this game is at Hard Rock Stadium. Both of these teams are mid. Is mid the right word? I don't know. But both are kind of trending upwards lately, all things considered. Even though Duke did drop that game to UNC, it was a close one. It was late in the game that they ended up losing that. But you know what? With all that being said, let's just go ahead and bring on the special celebrity guest picker. I'm really excited for this one. Let's do this. Introducing a guy that can literally cut a Sebastian the Ibis design into your hair. Some call him a barber. I call him an artist. He sometimes goes by the nickname Steven Scissorhands or Kane's Barber. Introducing today's celebrity guest picker, Steve Rivera. Y'all clap it up in the comment section for my man Steve. Steve, man, I got to tell you something. I've been hyping you up all week on Twitter, on YouTube, on all of my social media, and I personally think it's well deserved. If anybody who's watching this is a Dolphins fan or a Miami Hurricanes fan, you have at least heard of Kane's Barber. So
heard? Yep.
I appreciate you, man, taking time out of your day. Man, the background is, I love it, bro.
Legends.
Some greats up there.
That's my rap sheet, the resume I have, all these guys behind me.
Let's go. All right, man. So I want to ask you, though, in case there's someone out there that isn't familiar with you, could you take just a second and explain to the viewers what your profession is and what you do?
Well, my name is Steven Rivera. I'm the team barber for the Miami Dolphins and, of course, your Miami Hurricanes. And, I've been doing this for about going on to 17 years. And, it's been an honor. And just to be able to wear both colors, aqua and orange and green, like, to this day, buddies of mine, they always crack jokes because literally every outfit every day is either Hurricanes or Dolphins. So I'm like, man, hey, yep. I got to rock with the home team,
I feel you, man. I went through my closet the other day. We're getting ready for winter here in Tennessee. And I'm like, I'm going through it. I'm like, okay, Miami shirt, Miami jacket, Miami. Like I'm in the same boat. It's literally all I have. And it didn't hit me till the other day. I was like, I don't own any other clothes. What the heck?
At all. I got a closet dedicated straight for both teams. But yeah, like I said, I've been around, the program for about 17 years, and I've been cutting for the Dolphins going on to 10 years now. So it's been an amazing experience, a true blessing and an honor to be able to represent both teams from the crib at that.
Right.
Yeah.
When did you step back and you're like, I enjoy cutting hair, or I like cutting hair? Because, I mentioned that I kind of see it as art. I've seen some videos and pictures of some of those crazy designs and stuff that you've done. But when did you realize like that this is what you wanted to do, or that this was what you were good at?
Because I've always had a knack for art. I mean, if you see me, I'm fully tatted up, so like I got a love for art and graffiti. So that was my first love, and surprisingly, like I was good at drawing, but not knowing that I could be good at cutting hair. But
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with it. I mean, just seeing the how my clients would react after a haircut and how good it would make them feel when we'd be out hanging out or whatnot. Like it makes a big difference. And what really like made me like, hey man, I need to take this serious was when Ja'Cory Harris let me draw the U swag on the side of his head. Let me
Mm-hmm.
show you.
Oh, you
Case
got it. Oh, there we go. That's
that
sick, man.
so that haircut there was the one that really, I want to say, I gave me, my name, Kane's Barber. I feel because it was during, I think we were unranked and they were like top five Oklahoma, and we actually beat them like the last, seconds of the game.
So, all right, Canes fans, your eyes do not deceive you. Steve and I did not go run and throw on some different clothes, which Steve is a smart man. He's rocking the same outfit I'm pretty sure that he was the other day. Coop's
Yeah.
dressed entirely different. You guys don't know, but we ran into a bunch of technical difficulties when recording this. So, the rest of this interview is taking place several days after what you just saw a moment ago. So, just wanted to give you that disclaimer so you guys don't think that you're crazy. I mean, some of you might be, but just to let you know, to give you a heads up. So, Steve, appreciate you sticking with me, making this thing happen. Canes fans, again, we're just so excited to bring you onto the show. So, we're just going to take off right where we left off. And, Steve, you got to tell me a little bit about this mobile barber shop. I don't know if you've noticed, but we're chilling in it right now. That's the background, and it's pretty roomy in here, bro. So, can you tell me how this thing kind of came about?
Yeah, during the pandemic, it was an idea that came to my mind, and it's always something that I wanted. Just, when I started cutting hair at UM, being that I was very known for being a mobile barber, going to wherever you're at and setting up shop. So during the pandemic, this was one of the ideas that, came to my mind that I was like, yo, how, what will take Kane's Barber to the next level? And that was one of the ideas that came to mind. And it just so happened, my close friend Teddy Bridgewater, he surprised me one day with the Sprinter van, and by like it was like one of the happiest moments of my life. And I was so emotional that day when he did surprise me with it that I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it to the next level and started thinking of ideas of how I'm gonna, implement somewhat like how I have here, like all the, former players who I've cut throughout the years. How will I
Mm-hmm.
do that inside the mobile barbershop? And an idea that came to mind was having, their trading card on my wall, somewhat like a Hall of Fame type of deal.
Right.
So that idea came to mind, and I put it in there, and everybody loves it. They go in there, it's like a, like I said, like a whole museum. Like, wow, you've cut all these people on this wall, all these signatures on the autograph board, the mural that's in front when you sit in the chair makes you really feel like, you're a part of the team. And not only that, like after the haircut, it makes you feel like you are a player, So
Right. Yeah,
a dope experience.
I love how you like put your own personality and stuff into it. You got the gold chair. I've seen pictures of you with like some gold clippers and stuff. Got everybody feeling like royalty whenever they come
Exactly.
into the mobile barber shop to get their hair cut. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true, you tell me, but I've heard a lot of people say that once you cut their hair, they won't let anybody else touch it. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I'm big on loyalty. That's something that, me and my clients, they know how seriously I take that word loyalty. And
Mm-hmm.
For them, once they sit in my chair, they get to feel me and feel, my aura. And I'm super like humble, nice human being, very caring, very loving, and loyalty to me goes far in what I do. And when I see that with a client, if I see that he's, loyal to me and not hopping around from barber to barber, then, that goes a long way with me. And I go out my way for those guys the most because I know at the end of the day, they won't go to another barber or,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, man, we got to link up sometime because listen, I cut my own hair, and let me tell you, I'm not about to pull this hat off on this video, okay? Maybe off video I'll show you, okay? And see if you think you
Yeah.
can make some corrections here and clean it up for me.
We'll
So
get you right. Get
we,
you right.
we got to make that happen sometime. Now, I do have to ask you, and I bet you get asked this all the time, but of course, everybody is going to wonder what's been the most difficult or possibly craziest cut that you've ever done? And also, have you ever had any really odd or weird requests, like anything off the wall?
Mm, request wise were like a fan wanted me to design a U logo on his chest hairs. I'm like, yo, I don't do that now.
That's,
Come
I don't know. Yeah, that's a little
on.
weird.
I said, you got to tell your lady to do that for you, man. I'll talk her along what exactly to do, but I'm not gonna be touching a man's chest hairs
Right.
like with my clippers. No way. But one of the moments where, yeah, I can say probably that I was super nervous or sweating was probably when I was, cutting Deion Sanders prime time.
Oh, bet that was recent, right?
That was like, yeah, I cut him last year, but
Okay.
my first time meeting him and actually cutting his hair was during the Super Bowl when Kansas City came down here to play.
Ah, gotcha.
Everybody's in town, and of course, they want to know who to go to while in the city, and my name gets brought up. Kane's Barber, go
Mhm.
check him out. And it's crazy because he did a little video for me, which I didn't even ask him to do. He just did it off the strength and gave me a whole shout out, like saying whenever you're in the city, holler at Kane's Barber, and that's coming from a Seminole at that. So
That's
that's
true.
major, man.
Yeah,
He's one
man.
of the goats, though.
That's big time. He's a real one, man. I know there are a lot. It's a love hate thing with a lot of people with him, but Dion, man, he's straight up, and I like that dude a lot. Just being honest, just
Yeah,
keeping it real.
nah, for sure.
And can we take just a second also and talk about that gold colored car that I've been seeing up on your Instagram? Because, man, listen, hear me out for a second. Back when I was growing up, I don't even know how old you are, but back when I was growing up, the thing was 24s and spinners. And I swear that thing looks like it's sitting on 26s or 27s. So you got to give me some info on that thing. I'm going to put it up on the screen whenever I edit this video so you guys see what I'm talking about. Give me some
Okay.
info on that thing because it looks slick.
So in Miami, Florida. I mean, pretty much Miami, Dade County, Broward, um, West Palm. We're known for riding them Chevys, dunks. That's what they call them down here, dunks.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a dunk, hard top, 2 door, 4 door, or a vert convertible. I have a 1971 Chevy Impala convertible sitting on 26s, painted gold. The nickname I gave her is Goldie Hawn. I don't know if you know who Goldie
Love it.
Hawn is. Yeah, a little throwback actress, but man, that's a part of me. That car, whenever it's on the road or parked anywhere, when they see it, they know, oh, that's Kane's Barber right there. And
I bet
to me,
I know you generate a lot of attention with that thing.
no, listen, especially on South Beach going down Ocean Drive, it brings so much attention. Like it's own celebrity. Like that
Mm-hmm.
car, it's its own. Like I drive on Ocean Drive. All you see is people taking pictures of the car or wanting to take pictures next to the car because it's an eye candy. And that paint on that car is when that sun hit it is something different. But
I bet.
that those cars down here, it's our culture. It's what I love. It's what I when I was younger, I used to post up, and always see those cars drive by back in the days, and I always told myself, man, one day I'm gonna have one of those cars. And I saved up enough money when I was like, what, 23, 24 years old, and bought me one and fixed it up, and now I got it.
Hey,
And
you
that was
manifested it, man. You made it happen. You worked hard. You did your thing, and you got
Mhm.
it. I love
Yeah,
it, man. I love it. I love seeing other people succeed, accomplish goals, and get those things that they want. I love seeing that, man.
yeah.
So let's transition over and talk Miami ball for just a few seconds here, and then we'll get into our picks and score prediction. And we'll keep this part short. Out of all the games left on Miami's schedule, which one are you looking forward to the most? We got Duke coming up, which is for this preview. We got FSU, Georgia Tech, Clemson, Pitt. Is there one of those maybe that you got circled?
Man, you already know which one I'm gonna say.
I know. I'm pretty sure I
Them
know.
Seminoles. Boy, I got so many friends that are FSU fans that just been poking at me all season. And that's one game I am so looking forward to that I will be in the building supporting my guys. But it's gonna be a tough one because they have been showing up and they've definitely, you know, came a long way from where they were. So I tip my hat off to them, but I hate them fans, boy. I
Yeah,
hate them,
man.
man.
I feel like that's a statement game for
Yeah.
Mario because I mean you look at that, like you said, there's no denying FSU is looking better. They're year 3 under Norvell. They're kind of putting some things together. They're on a little bit of a skid lately, but they played some tough opponents: Wake Forest,
Uh,
Clemson, and I feel like man, they're coming in, pulling up into Hard Rock. I'm going to be there in person too, and I feel
mm,
like Mario's got to win that game.
he
Got to.
has
We
that.
can't lose to that trailer. I'm gonna stop there. I ain't gonna go no further than that. Man, listen. Let's get into our picks for this Duke game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some pressure off of you, and I'll go first. I'm gonna
So,
give Miami in this one 27, and I'm gonna give the Duke Blue Devils 21. So I
ooh,
do, in fact, have the Miami Hurricanes winning this game in a close one. I don't think we're blowing anybody out, Steve. I'm just keeping it
no,
real. I'm trying to be honest. Duke's got a first-year head coach, former defensive coordinator from Texas A&M. They're 4-3 right now, 1-2 in the ACC. But they've improved a lot. Last year, they didn't win a single ACC game.
mhm,
Unfortunately, I don't feel like we're that much better than Duke right now, but I think we're just good enough to get the job done. So I'm
yeah.
picking the Canes in
20.
this one. Steve, what do you got?
I think it'll be a close game, just like you said. I mean, 27-21. That's reasonable. I was actually last week. I was gonna predict that score that we had versus Virginia Tech.
Oh, you would have had it?
Yeah, I would have
Well,
had it, but no.
hey, you got
I
to call
mean,
it. Hey, my Friday night shows. I give away $500 if anybody calls in and gets the score prediction right.
wow, look at that. I would have had $500. But win by 3 points. I don't know the exact score, but I think we'll win by three.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair. You can do that. Are we
three.
talking off an Andy Borregales field goal or
Yeah,
no
field
details?
goal. Yeah, nah, field goal.
Okay,
I think
okay.
we'll win by a field goal, but as far as how many points we're gonna put up, I'm not sure.
It's
To
tough
be
to say,
honest
man.
with
It
you.
is. Just
Yeah,
keeping it real, right? It ain't hate. It's
yeah.
all out of love, man. Just keeping it real and
hmm
honest. So,
But
hey,
but the guy. Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I'm saying, but the guys are definitely. I mean, just being around them and feeling, their attitude and it's going in the right direction. I know we started off slow, we trying to go through some humps, but it'll only get better, man. Trust me. This is Cristobal's first year, and fans just you know, don't be too tough on my guy Mario.
Hey, I
It's
feel
his
you,
first
man.
year. He has, this isn't really his class, his players, but he's doing what he can with what he has. So I definitely am looking forward to, the upcoming years, and I know it's gonna turn around.
Oh,
Trust me.
100%, man. And if people went into this thinking that there weren't going to be any speed bumps, there weren't going to be any growing pains, they were setting themselves up for that. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Like on this channel, of course, I'm a fan. So there are going to be times where I vent my frustrations but I try to just provide constructive criticism and it's always out of love. I'm in the same boat. I'm actually very optimistic about the future with the program. And I do understand that we're putting 2 decades of frustrations and stuff on Mario
Yeah.
Cristobal. And realistically, it is going to take a little bit of time. That's a dirty word amongst Canes fans. We don't like the T word. No time.
No,
Right now, right?
right now, yeah, because that's what we
But
used to.
the reality
When
of the situation is it is going to take a little bit of time. And I'm happy and excited about the future. 100%. You said it perfect, man.
yeah, I
So,
mean, yeah.
Steve, a.k.a. Canes Barber, my
He's
man, listen, you know what we got to hit him with on the way out of here. Thank you so much for taking time. You guys show him some love in the comment section.
Show me
Come
some
on
love.
now.
Like, comment, follow, all that.
Come on, man. Hey, we got his social media and stuff in the description. We got it up above his head. Appreciate you guys for hanging out, watching this. Steve, you know what we got to hit him with, bro?
Yep.
Let's go,
You got
man.
it, David.
Hey,
Love, bro.
appreciate you so much, bro.
Sir.
Yo, I hope that you guys enjoyed this preview video, and I hope that you were very excited when you saw the celebrity guest picker. To wrap this thing up, I really just want to ask one little teensy favor from you guys, and that's, could you possibly share this video somewhere? It doesn't matter where. It could be Facebook, Twitter, a forum, just somewhere. And I say that because I want to show some extra love to these celebrity guest pickers that I'm bringing onto the show. So don't do it for Coop, do it for the celebrity guest pickers. So let's run the views up on this video. I would very much appreciate it. And guys, like, can Miami please win this? Please, because the thing is, man, even if you don't care about this kind of stuff, you know, if you don't collect cards, you know, whatever, like I said, we all have our hobbies, and everybody can point at each other and say each other's hobbies are dumb, but there are no right or wrong hobbies. Like what you want to like. But the point I'm trying to make is, even if you don't like this stuff or enjoy it, if you're not going to cherish this, if you win it, you could just sell it, right? You could flip it and make some money. So please don't make me have to give this away. Like, Miami, just come through for me. This one time, come through, bro. I don't want to. Please, man. Please. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. Man, I'll see y'all in the next one.